The tennis circuit has now moved from the clay courts of Europe onto the grass courts of England, and I thought on wearetennis.com it would be interesting to see what it's like and how difficult it is to put a grass court together for one of the championships leading up to Wimbledon. We're going to catch up with Graham Kimpton, head groundsman at the Queen's Club, where BNP Paribas is one of the main sponsors. Tell me about how easy or difficult it is to prepare a grass court.
Well, it's a year-long process, so the preparation for getting the courts ready for next year starts the day after the tournament finishes here, basically. We're a members club as well, so we're a working club with members playing on the grass courts right up until early October. So not only are we balancing the demands of a fully fledged big international tournament, but we're trying to keep the members happy as well, so they can conflict with each other at times.
I'm sure they can.
But we try and do that. But yeah, so it's a year-long process. It's hard to pick one main aspect out, but if someone asked me now, I'd have to say it's timing of all the operations. Get your timing wrong and we could be in trouble.
Big trouble. Now tell me about the grass that's used over here. What is the combination, or what's the type of grass that's used here? Because so many people say the grass courts at Queen's Club are among the best in the world.
Well, that's very kind of them. Well, we've got a blend of 5 different types of grasses, 2 rye grasses, 2 fescues and 1 bent. So yeah, we've got 5 different grasses. We have it specially mixed up for us. We choose the cultivated varieties or cultivars very carefully. And not only does it grow vertically as well, it grows laterally as well, so we've got a very dense turf.
It's like a mesh, isn't it?
It is, yeah, very dense. Although you don't want to go too dense because you end up with then like a doormat if it gets too thick, and it takes all the energy out of the ball and the ball just doesn't bounce.
Right. What about the players? Do you have problems with the players? You know, I mean, are they fussy?
Well, not really. To be fair, a lot of the players these days, they play on grass 5 weeks of the year. This is the first glimpse of grass they get after a long clay court season. So we don't generally have too many problems. They do, slip and slide around and, a little bit
getting
cross
narky
at
on those
times. But I think a lot of them are glad to get off the clay. Where they've been, 20-shot rallies each point, and can get some cheap and easy points, especially the big servers. But we don't really have too many problems with it.
So if I were to ask you who is the worst of the players, you can tell us. It's okay.
The worst in which way? That's the problem. Yeah.
Who gripes the most about grass?
Oh, can I say that?
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
I mean, if Marie Sharapova can say about herself that she was like a cow on an ice rink on clay,
I don't know. I guess the real clay quarters over the years have not liked us. I can't remember the guy's name now, but he said grass is for cows, should I say. But some of the clay quarters, but now we have to get the court so much harder. The clay quarters have got a real chance. We've seen that over the years who've got through to the final stages of Wimbledon. So I think they're all a good bunch. I can't pick one out. That'd be unfair.
Now, a long-time good friend of mine, Ivan Lendl, has had a good running battle with you, and I think your father, who was head groundsman before you here at Queen's Club.
That's correct.
Tell me about some of the pranks that he's been up to with you guys, or you in reverse.
Well, there was always a good bit of banter, and he had this image of being ice cold and quite sort of offish, but off the court he was one of the nicest guys you've ever met, and good fun. And also what struck me was his knowledge of all other sports. So we used to have a good bit of banter with him, and Tony Roche was his coach at the time, and anything from football, boxing, but particularly cricket, because Tony was a big cricket fan as well. And we got to know Ivan quite well, and he sidestepped the French a couple of times to try and win, which turned out to be an elusive Wimbledon title. And he'd spend a lot of time here, and he used to cycle in from Wimbledon down Putney High Street on a bicycle when he was #1 in the world, which would be unheard of. And so this banter used to go backwards and forwards, and so he would hide things from us, like single sticks from the net and the yardstick and that sort of thing. So one day we decided to get our own back, and we hid his bike, and he wasn't too happy about it, really.
You know what? This is the problem with Ivan. He's easy. He loves handing out the pranks, but when it's played back on him, it's a no-go zone. Did you get up to anything with him when he arrived here with Andy Murray this year?
Well, I mean, funny enough, I think a few people have brought this story up with him, but he called me straight over, and whether he could remember my name or not, I don't know. but he'd obviously spoken to Tony Roach, and he said, "Hey Graham, come over, how you doing? A long time, seeing you, how's things, blah, blah. How's your old man?" He said, I said, "Yeah, he's doing all right." He said, "Well, tell him the courts are a lot better now than they were 25 years ago." First thing he said. So of course I had to pass that information on, but Dad was in the next day and he put Ivan right on a couple of things.
I bet you know what he used to do to me? We'd be at tournaments, and I always wear a collar and tie when I'm at an event. He used to get scissors and just snip the ties. You know, these beautiful Italian ties that I had, and if I tried to get back at him, I'd get even worse back at me.
Yeah. Well, he's competitive in everything he does.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what made him such a great champion.
Yeah. I guess the biggest issue for you is when it rains. We've had a lot of rain already in England. It looks like it's going to continue. How much of a precision, an army procedure is it, almost like military precision, to get courts covered and uncovered?
Well, I mean, it probably looks a bit slicker than it actually is, really. But
yeah.
No, I mean, of course, you know, we don't have as many court coverers as they maybe have at Wimbledon at times. But, you know, we go for, you know, the main match courts first and then practice courts. And, you know, we just got to get out there and get it done. And if it rains all day, you cover them up, you're done. If it's sunny all day, you're fine. It's the ones in between, which we've had a lot of this week, on, off. And it's tiring, time-consuming, frustrating for the players and the fans. So, you know, we just try on and do it as quick as we can. And of course, everyone's got their own little job. To do the net, to do the umpire's chair, you know. So yeah, it's a little bit of a military operation, but it's not too onerous.
How long does it take you your guys to cover a court?
Well, I mean, if it really started coming down, we've got the cover on in 30 seconds or something like that. So it's not going to get that wet. It's not going to get that wet.
Yeah, well, hopefully we don't have too many more covers on courts over the next few weeks. Graham, thank you so much for joining us on WeAreTennis.com.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.